It's the 16th race of the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season here on JRTV, and for the second time this season, we're heading to a road course. This time, it's Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, for the Pepsi 500K. The first road course race we saw this season, Montreal, dominated by the 88 of Luke Rainey. He's the points leader, but starts further back in the field here today in 29th place. We'll have to see which driver can come out on top in the second road course race of 2004. I'm Joe Rakowski, launching me in the booth, Trey Bardo. Trey, this is a racetrack where normally track position means a whole lot. However, further back in the field, some drivers can maybe move through in traffic. Someone can maybe start 25th, but end up inside the top 15, maybe even inside the top 10. But if you're going to want to win the race, Trey, history says you're going to start up inside the top 10 here today.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks where there's a lot of passing opportunities, but it's just hard to do such a thing, and it's weird to say out loud, but it's just how this place races. So, you know, you're going to have to get your positions here early on this start and try to just hold out from there, but it'll be fun to watch.
Many drivers and fans have considered this track basically the perfect blend of technical and high speed. You have portions like we see right here, this front straightaway. It's endless. It just goes on and on and on. You can reach fast speeds there, but it's a heavy braking right-hander in turn 1. We have a heavy braking right-hander in turn 3, a heavy braking right-hander for heavy braking left-hander for turn 4. And there's some high-speed corners like the kink. We have Canada corner, very technical. The last few corners pretty quick. So Trey, this is a test of basically everything. Every attribute a driver can have behind the wheel. You have to be, fast in the high-speed corners, fast in the medium corners, fast in the low-speed corners, and your car has to be fast down the straightaways as well.
Yeah, definitely. This is a very, very technical track here with very little wiggle room for error, because majority of these things go right off into some sort of either grass or a gravel pit. Which if you get your car in there and you don't have the momentum to get out, Joe, you're gonna be a sitting duck, and I don't think you're gonna get out. So you better as well get your swim trunks and enjoy the view while you're there. But we'll have to see who's able to conquer this, and you can go from there.
Maybe some drivers have some shovels in their cars to dig themselves out of the gravel traps if they get stuck in there. I don't know, but we'll have to see if that does happen. We've seen it happen over the past few seasons. There's been some contact, there's been some controversy, there's been some chaos. We'll have to see if this one is just like that, where we have some crashes and some wrecks, or if it's going to be a cleaner race here today in the 2004 Pepsi 500K. There's been 3 previous races here. They've been won by Brett Sierra in 2001. You have Mitchell Collins in 2002. Keegan Thompson won last season, leading every single lap in 2003. We'll have to see, can Jordan Stout, the winner of the last road course race from last season, Watkins Glen, get it done? Can Mathis Wells, who's not won since the Daytona night race last season, get it done? Maybe Justin Zidell's never won since 2000 up there. We have so many big names, big storylines at the front. Let's go down to track side, fire the cars up for a very long pace lap around the 4-mile road course in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin.
Drivers, start your engine!
The command has been given, and there roll off the 42 cars off the front straightaway, knowing they have to make a 4-mile trip around this road course at half speed before they can go full speed for 16 laps of action here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The field pacing off, and you'll see a lot of big names, a lot of big points contenders starting towards the back, like Luke Rainey, Tim Gary, Chris Jericho, Keegan Thompson, all the way to the back of the field. This is going to be an interesting race to see how those big names can try and move their way through the fields. The field's working down towards turn 3. Let's take a look at the track facts here today. Clear, sunny sky day, 74 degrees, so a very nice day here in Wisconsin, and just a little bit of wind out of the west here in Road America. This is a 4.048 mile road course that is basically just about 6.5 kilometers. This will be a 16-lap race that's just under 65 miles in length. The field window then go just to midway or a little bit past 8 to 10 laps. That will really only be a factor if we maybe get a caution flag to come out, and if that might be just on the edge of the field window. Something to watch out for is that this season the tires wearing a lot more than they have in prior seasons. We can see up to 2 seconds of fall off over a full fuel run. It's a 14-turn road course, 9 to the right and 5 to the left. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, audience picked to win this race. He's starting back in his car number position. Number 12, Mitchell Collins, won this race in 2002. He has great stats here, great average finish. He's one of the drivers. This is a Nextel Challenge race. He won the last time out in a Nextel Challenge race. He's looking to win this one. If he gets it done, he'd be $1 million richer with that bonus prize money. Only he and Evan Hunter can win this race and get that prize money. If someone else wins, we'll still be going in with no prize money being given out, and we'll go to the next one to see. But Collins with 33% of the vote is the audience pick to win. And Trey, who's your pick to win here today at Road America?
Well, I'm going to go with his teammate there, the 2, Zidell. You mentioned he hasn't won since, what was it, 2000, right? Yep. So it's been a little bit, but, I think he's hungry for it. He's definitely thirsty for it with that Dr. Pepper ride, but I think he's got to get a good start here, be a little aggressive here, and, get up to the lead and just kind of drive away from that, but he's going to have a hard time passing that 6.
Penske Jasper have been very good as of late. They brought some fast cars to the racetrack. Maybe they've brought another fast one. This number 2 starts in 3rd place here today. My pick just a few rows back. This number 25, Matthew Burnett. Harry has a win this season. He's had some good runs. He's kind of been hot or cold. He hasn't really been all that average. He's either been really, really good or pretty bad. I think today's going to be really, really good. Get to victory lane. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole has been dominant here at Road America. They've won 2 of the 3 races in the Cup Series history here. They've also led 41 of the 48 laps, including Keegan Thompson leading every single lap in this race last season. Burnett might not lead most of the laps here today from 7th place, but I think he gets up there at the end and is able to win this race for Hendrick Motorsports to get their 3rd win in 4 races here at Road America. And now let's look at the 8 drivers that did not qualify here today. It's Henry Guo in the 0, 14 John Barrymore, Max Davis in the 21, Derek Fitzwater Sr. in the 32, David Dixon, Nathan Orban, Joe Staubs, and Tegan Fox as the field's working their way towards Canada Corner. Just a few more to go until we get to the green flag. But Trey, look at the front of the field, all these names and all these drivers that have not yet won this season. Jordan Stout has not won this season. Mathis Wells hasn't won this season. Zidell hasn't won since 2000. Eli Bright hasn't won this season. Jacob Miller's never won. Baby Ruiz has never won. Matthew Burnett, the only winner up inside the top 10 to start. Crown Jr. hasn't won since 2001. Nathan Stapleton's never won a race. Atkins hasn't won since last season. Even behind them, Drew Webb's never won. You have Mitchell Collins, who won a few races ago, won this race 2 years ago. But then you have Jay Brando looking to get back on top. Colin Teague's never won. Sabet Oskin hasn't won in a while. Riley Sprutu hasn't won this season. Sarah Kirchner has never won in the Nextel Cup Series. So a lot of drivers looking for their first win of the season or their first win ever. But they all have to get by Jordan Stout, who's been fastest in practice this weekend. He was fastest in qualifying by nearly 4/10 of a second. Will he be fastest in the race here today? They climb the hill to see the green flag in the Pepsi 500K. And stepping on the gas for Jordan Stout, the green flag waves were underway for Road America. Even launch, Trey, and Mathis Wells did great to stay to the inside in turn 1, but he couldn't make it work. Zidell's off the road a little bit, tries to get back on in front of Baby Ruiz and does just that. Crown Jr. with a great start, making ground up. He's already up to 4th place in the number 43 as they race up the 2nd longest straightaway on the course. Mathis Wells trying to run down Jordan Stout. Eli Bright in 3rd has gotten away with them as they race off into this heavy braking left-hander. Look at that. Fast speeds all the way down and a gravel trap to try and catch you if you go a little bit too far. Nearly 3 wide further back. The first battle is for 6th. Ruiz trying to keep it from Justin Atkins in the 3. Jacob Miller behind them. Then you have Matthew Burnett and Nathan Stapleton. There's all sorts of chaos behind about the front 5 as they're all trying to settle it out into this more technical portion. Miller goes wide. He loses ground and will lose maybe a spot to Matthew Burnett as we're now going to enter into the carousel here. Burnett sends it in on the outside, gets by before the carousel.
Yeah, this is a very sketchy section right here because, Joe, if you go too far, you don't really know. You can see the 9 almost overstepped the boundary there, but was able to keep the car. Actually, he did overstep the boundary a little bit there. Got a little bit of grass, so did the 84 back there, but no harm, no foul there. They got to be careful in this kink too, but they're also fine.
Hard to go through the kink side by side. The driver on the inside normally has to give. If not, they're going to be wrecking pretty hard. That's a high-speed portion of the racetrack to be wrecking like that. And you can see Riley Sprutu being aggressive, trying to go 3 wide on Colin Teague and Mitchell Collins. Nearly got it in Canada Corner. Up at the front, some more battling going on. Mathis Wells is all over Jordan Stout for the race lead. Eli Bright watching on as well as they race into the final corner, turn 14. Wells looked to the inside but couldn't get it done. Crown Jr. gets by Zidell as they climb the hill. Here comes Wells in the draft, trying to look out as they come to complete lap 1. Stout from pole will lead, but Wells has the run, but not the help to get to the inside of Stout. Eli Bright watching on, not close enough to help that number 20 out.
I was going to see if he was going to send it in there, but he decided better of it, and he's going to fall right back in line there and try to set him up somewhere else right now. But the one in the catbird seat, I believe, is at 8, because if these two get together, Joe, Eli Bright's just going to blow on by, but the 20 actually messed up the exit there.
Yeah, Mathis Wells couldn't get through turn 3. Eli Bright did. He's now side by side with Wells for second place up this second longest straightaway on the racetrack as they approach turn number 4. Mathis Wells, Eli Bright side by side. Heavy braking left-hander. Eli gets in line. He's up to second place by Mathis Wells, a driver who's normally, been kind of vocal against road course racing. Hasn't really liked it, but he was 44th in practice. Trey was 4th in qualifying. Here he's now 2nd in the race. He's continuing to improve this weekend and trying to run down Jordan Stout, who, remember, dominated at Watkins Glen last season, so he's no stranger to some success on this road course style racing.
Yeah, we'll have to see what this 8's got in store. It's really a question of who wants to win more, right? Who's willing to be more aggressive on this thing, and who's willing to put their car on the line to make the pass and lead this race. And right now, I think these guys are kind of just giving each other the respect they both deserve. And, come to the end of this thing, I think all respect is out the window. I think you're just going to use your car as a battering ram.
Yeah, I think towards the end you're going to get a lot more aggressive. But right now you want to take care of your tires, right? There's a pretty long fuel run in front of you for 8 to 10 laps, and there's some big tire fall off that could happen as well. And if you don't take care of your tires now, Trey, this is where really you can do the most damage to the tires, right off the start, right when they're new.
Yeah, definitely. And that's where majority of the mistakes come in, right? Because you don't really think you're pushing your tires, or you're pushing your tires trying to make up positions, but then at the end of the run, you're paying for it because you're losing more positions than you gained, right? So you really got to kind of, give it up on the start here and to really gain it back on the end.
Eli Bright missed turn 14. That allows Mathis Wells the inside up the front straightaway. Those two are going to race side by side for a second. Again, Jordan Stout loves it. He can try and pull away. Wells the inside to turn 1. Sometimes it's hard to get off the corner. Eli holds him tight. And now Crown Jr. gains. Wells tries to get off the corner but can't. Eli's going to keep the spot. Now it stacks everyone up behind the number 20. Here comes Idell for 4th. Crown Jr. goes wide, might lose 5th to Baby Ruiz as those guys race hard. Here comes Justin Atkins looking out those two. The number 3 with a big run. So Eli keeps 2nd. Wells keeps 3rd, but Idell gets to 4th. Crown Jr. 5th, and here's the battle for 6th. Atkins and Baby Ruiz are going side by side up into turn number 4. Some great stuff early on here at Road America. These two side by side. Ruiz sends it deep on the inside. Atkins tries to get the run off the top side, and they stay side by side up to turn number 5 under the bridge.
They're really racing each other. We were talking about it, Joe. This is how you're going to use up your tires early in this run, and these guys racing like this, that's what's going to do it. So we'll have to see if eventually they do finally set it out, but the cost of the 7 who got into the gravel traps, now he's going to fall victim to the 42 and 25. So we'll have to see if he can pull himself away or if he's going to lose more positions. I believe Burnett's who's inside. Hard to tell. He's cleared.
Yeah, Ruiz just got enough of a run, but Burnett's fighting
Well,
back
never
now.
mind.
But now we're coming up to the kink, and Burnett's on the inside, so he'd probably be better off tucking in behind the 7, which is what he's going to do. He said, I couldn't make that pass there. I'm going to live to see another day and try and get it here. Stapleton goes wide through the kink from 9th place. That allows Jacob Miller a run up to Canada Corner to try and get a pass done, but not quite close enough. Canada Corner right here, a very challenging corner. It's very tight, and you see Eli Bright kind of went a little bit wide through it. I think Stout even went wide through it, and now Bright has his hands full with Mathis Wells for the 2nd place as they go through 13, now to turn 14. Eli gets through it this time, but Wells doesn't this time, and here comes Idell with a big run off turn number 14, already beside the 20. I didn't think he's already going to get by him here as they drag race up the hill. Wells got a little bit better traction off the top, but now Idell to the inside trying to get some side draft off the number 20 car. These two side by side for 3rd. Eli Bright can try and now focus forward on the number 6 Stout instead of focusing behind him.
Sent it in there. They're going to make it work. Maybe. Yeah, we're good. We're fine.
But once again, the inside of turn 1 hard to get off of, with the same momentum as the guy on the outside. And Crown Jr. again is going to lose a spot because of that. Atkins up to 5th. Crown Jr. down to now 6th place. Further back, Miller had been on the back bumper of Stapleton. He kind of fell off. He's down to the clutches of Mitchell Collins and Riley Spurtube. Spurtube having a nice run through the field right now in that number 28. He's moved up about 4 or 5 spots from his initial starting spot. Once again, a driver that has not yet won this season. A driver who, after last season, we had a lot of confidence in going into this season, just hasn't played out in the right way for Riley Spurtube. But here today, showing some pretty decent muscles. He's trying to get by Mitchell Collins for the 11th spot. Drew Webb, the rookie, hanging in tough in 13th place. Colin Teague would have run for BAM Racing right here. Last season, he was pretty fast in this race, and here this season up inside the top 15 on pace. Chris Jericho moving through the field nicely, that number 18 car. Evan Hunter, Tim Gary, the two teammates from MB2 right now 17th and 18th. But we want to go back and find where the last winner on a road course is, and that's Luke Randy, the points leader. Trey not having a good run here today. Well down in the field for Luke. In fact, there he is all the way in last. He may have had to make a pit stop.
Yeah, he is very far off. I don't know what happened there, but he is absolutely off from the field. So not the day he was looking for here, and I don't know what their game plan is from here on out, but it is not what they had planned at the beginning.
He entered with a 67-point gap over Tim Gary, who's right now in 18th place. Keegan Thompson was 83 points back. Good news for Luke is that Keegan started poorly. He had a big mistake in qualifying, which dropped his speed down. Keegan's down 39th right now, basically just a few spots in front of Luke. But then Chris Jericho's 85 points back. Jericho's right now up near the top 15 and trying to move positions forward. Jay Rando is right now inside the top 25, and Evan Hunter's top 20. Sarah Kirchner is up there as well. So a lot of drivers that were behind Luke are having pretty good point days, while Luke is right now in last place. This could once again, Trey, bunch the points picture up, which is something we've been used to seeing here. Is Atkins with a big move for 4th place. Idell misses turn number 3. Atkins just continues his slow march through the field from 10th to 4th here in that number 3 car.
Yeah, it looks like he's got race pace right now, and this track is really suiting the way he drives, and he's just slowly picking everyone off. So I'll be curious to see how far he can get up before we enter in pit stops here in you know, a handful of laps time. But right now, this 2 does not seem like if he wants to battle up front here or if he wants to fall back.
Oh, Zidell did great there. Burnett went a little bit wide in the 25, but Burnett's another driver trying to move his way back through the field. Lost ground on the initial start of the race. He's now back to where he started in 7th place. He got by Bib Ruiz in the last lap. Zidell hanging in front of Crown Jr. for now. Did a great job right there, kind of getting some distance. And then Miller still with Collins on his back bumper. Meanwhile, Chris Jericho, the 18, he's trying to fight with Sibit Oskin, but he has 2 MB2 cars, and those MB2 cars are going to probably be pretty aggressive with this number 18 because all 3 of them are currently up inside the top 6 in points, right? Tim Gary is in a position to take the points lead after today's race. With right now, he's not running all that well in 18th, but it's good enough right now with where Luke Rennie's running to probably get him to the points lead. Evan Hunter's gaining points. Chris Jericho's gaining points. So these 3 lined up 16th, 17th, 18th. By their standards, not a good day. However, by the standards of, you know, the points and where Luke Rennie's running, it's a fantastic day for them.
Yeah, so they at the moment right now they are most likely told that Luke is well off pace, and these guys are just gonna pretty much either manage or they're gonna push to get more points here. So we'll have to, maybe they may make an aggressive strategy call here to see what they can do.
Up the hill, Eli Bright is cutting into the gap that Jordan Stout has out front. But the guy who's really cutting into gaps is Justin Atkins. I mean, he once again has caught the guy in front of him over the last lap. Mathis Wells has fallen into the clutches now of Justin Atkins. That number 3 continuing to march up further forward as he's now gaining on Mathis Wells. Gets through turn 3 a little bit better. See right there, he kind of hugged the bottom a little bit better. Should get him a little bit better drive off. Now he has the draft up this big straightaway. Further back, close battle for 9th still. As Riley Spurgeon moves by Mitchell Collins finally, he gets to 11th. In front of him, Jacob Miller's all over Nathan Steelton, but the 42 a little bit better horsepower. Looks like down the straightaway, kind of outpowers Miller and pulls away a little bit. As now they get to the corner, Miller tries to close back in but can't. Riley Spurgeon trying to close in on that battle in the number 28 car. Most of the field is single filed out, but they're staying pretty close together here, Trey. Normally in the past, we're used to seeing guys really pull away here at Road America and the pack get very spread out by the time we get to pit stops, but right now, the top 10 are still within about 6 seconds of each other. That's pretty close for Road America standards, especially when you go around a 4-mile racetrack. It takes 2 minutes to go around here.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, that just shows you that these guys are slowly learning, you know, better and better each and every week how these cars, you know, act, and they're learning new things about it to go faster and keep close. You can see right there, the 43 absolutely tried to send it on the 2, but it didn't work out too well. So, but no, I mean, for everyone here, you know, they're still in the area of one small mistake can cost you position, so they got to be careful with how they run.
And that 43 almost made that mistake going into the kink. If he was a little bit further alongside that number 2 car, I think they could have made contact. If he wasn't really going in there to lift out of the gas. So it was very close right there. This battle for 3rd, and Wells missed the corner. Atkins applied enough pressure, and Justin Atkins continues his march. That's now 7 spots up from where he started. He moves by Matheus Wells with 10 laps to go, up to 3rd place, and the front two aren't that far off the road. So if Atkins plays good pit strategy or just keeps this speed in this race car, Atkins could really be a challenger for the race victory here today. Is further back for 5th place. Zidell and Crown Jr. still going at it as Nathan Stipton looks on Big Brewers behind them. They're still great battling up inside the top 10 positions.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, the undercut is still an option here at a road course, but is it worth it here? And as you can see, some positions are still being shuffled here as the 9 is now passing the 42 and possibly trying to make a move on the 7 into the heavy braking zone. He's going to switch over to the other side. I don't know if he's going to commit to it. She might. No.
Yeah, Jacob Miller just could not get in there, and Baby Rose, the 7, did a great job protecting that spot. Further back, Evan Hunter finally got by Chris Jericho for 16th place to move to 36, 1 spot further forward, trying to lead his teammate and his driver up through the field, Tim Garys. Hunter goes a little bit wide right there, loses ground to Samet Osgood. But Trey, over the last few laps, Eli Bright has been cutting into the gap that Jordan Stout has. It's down to just under 0.8 of a second. It was up as Collins goes really wide right there as he got back by Riley Spurgeon. Now Spurgeon trying to pass him back, but that allows Drew Webb to the inside. But the gap had been over a second, nearly a second and a half. Eli's cut it down basically in half now, and that number 8 looks pretty good when he's in a little bit fresher air now as he starts to catch the 6 car back. Will he start to maybe lose some of that ground? I don't know, but he's visibly a lot closer to that number 6 than he has been the last few laps.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I wouldn't think that the 6, pushed his tires too much on the beginning of this race because he didn't really have that much, pressure to battle anyone. So I figured he would have been just kind of minding his own business, but you never know. Maybe he was pushing to get a big gap here, and he didn't think anyone would be able to catch him. But this 8's saying otherwise right now, so we'll have to see if he closes in any closer here. Like you mentioned last time, it was about 0.8 of a distance, and this time around, let's see if it's going to be any closer. Oh, it is! Wow.
That's about 0.3 of a second he gained down to half a second. Even Justin Atkins gained about 0.2 in that lap. So this number 3 is starting to kind of move up towards that number 6 as well. But Eli Bright is the one putting big pressure on Jordan Stout. But now comes into question. We're going to hit halfway next time by the question of overcut or undercut, right? We're seeing some pretty decent fall off, nearly a second and a half at this point in the race. So Eli Bright, if he pits a lap sooner, comes out and clear racetrack, has a good outlap, he could pass Jordan Stout, but it's all depending on that outlap on cold tires. Can you do it well? And also a question of if a caution comes out. If you come down pit road, a caution comes out, you're in luck because then you've made your pit stop. The other drivers have to make it under caution. You cycle up to the lead. So that's another question. If you stay out longer, trying to maybe say, well, the cold tires will be better if I stay out longer in this race. If a caution comes out, though, you lose all that track position if other guys behind you have pitted. So there's a big risk reward for both strategies here today. So we'll have to see what these front runners decide to do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the solutions right now. As I believe the race for the lead's kind of stabilized right there. As we're looking back, everyone is pretty much single file with 2 to 3 car lengths distance in between everyone. Maybe there's a little bit of battling going on.
Zachary DeLello, Ahmed Walid, Sebastian Kukulon, Lathan Strickland. That's around 20th place right now. So DeLello in 20th, Walid down 21st. 22nd is going to be Kukulon, and Strickland falls in line in 23rd. So all that battle going on right there. Evan Hunter made another pass in the last lap. He's gone by Samet Osgood for 15th and continuing to charge towards drivers in front like Colin Teague and Riley Spurgeon. Nathan Stipton's all over Bibi Ruiz for a spot further forward inside the top 10 as Stipton got by Jacob Miller for 9th place, and he's trying to look on Ruiz for 8th. The 7 goes wide. The 42 is looking low, and here comes Burnett with an undercut. So the 25 is in, and the number 6 is in from the lead as well. So they're trying the undercut here, trying to get in as soon as possible. So Eli Bright stays out. He gets the lead a lap for 5 points. But here comes Stout in. Here comes Burnett in. Jacob Miller is in as well. You can see Nathan Stipton trying to pass Baby Rose into the corner. So some of our front runners, including the race leader Trays, on pit road early. Stout, Miller, they're all going to be taking 4 tires. Matthew Burnett as well. The question is, will they come out and clean racetrack? And now that the 6 is pitted, has he given the 8 basically free range to say, all right, you have a clear racetrack now, you go? You see, Jay Brand also came in, so did Colin Teague. 25 is leaving, the 9 is waiting to leave. There's Teague, there's Rando. Another driver came down was Hunter Reed. There's Luke Rennie, the 88, whatever problem he had in that number 88 car. He's trying to come out here and merge, but I think he's going to have to pit again, Trey. As everyone's coming off, there's Eli Bright. There's Atkins. Mathis Wells in the number 20. And then Zidell. So now the question is, how are these guys going to play this strategy? Are they going to come down now immediately and say, all right, we have to respond to that number 6 and the number 25 in them? Or are they going to stay out a little bit longer and try and get maybe better tires for later in the race? We'll have to see what the strategy call is. The front 5 are all still pretty close together. Just 3 seconds separates the 8 to the 43. And remember, Jordan Stout from the lead. He's dominated this race from pole position. He came in first. Eli Bright from 4th starting spot is now the race leader on a little bit of a different strategy, a little bit of an overcut strategy. We'll have to see if he comes in now with the 3 and the 20, or does he stay out a little bit longer? Does anyone stay out longer, or do they all come in this lap? Here they come to turn 14, and we'll have to see what the strategy call is here. And it looks like they're coming in. So here they all come, the 8, the 3, the 20, the 2, the 43 as well. So far, no one going for an even longer run. See, everyone is making their way onto pit road, climbing up that hill. No one is daring to stay out any longer. Maybe Jerry Chen and the 24, Jude Martinelli and the 77. So they're going to stay out longer. They're going to hope they can go long on this run. So Chen and Martinelli have stayed out. As you can see, Eli Bright, the one we have to watch with his merge to Jordan Stout. Service done in the 8 and the 3. They're going to leave. Here comes Stout at speed going into turn 1. And Jordan Stout is going to hold serve. His pit crew did the job. He's out in front. He has 1 lap more in his tires. We'll have to see if that plays any impact towards the end of this race. So it's going to be Stout, Bright. Atkins really gained nicely on, I think, both the 6 and the 8 there. Matthew Burnett with his undercut is going to move up to 4th place. It looks like with Wells down now to 5th. Zidell is 6th. Crown Jr. goes wide from 7th. He's going to lose that spot to Nathan Stapleton. So we're going to move Stapleton now to 7th. Crown Jr. to 8th. Miller to 9th. It looks like Colin Teague might cycle out inside the top 10 with his undercut strategy in the 49. Then you have Mitchell Collins in 11th. Riley Spurgeon 12th. Ruiz in 13th. Hunter Reed's going to be up to 14th with Evan Hunter 15th. Drew Webb, Tim Gary. There's Jay Reno, who's moved up some spots. And once again, pit road for the 18 has dropped him some spots. He's now down behind drivers like the 16, the 33, even the 97 that he wasn't behind before, but now he's behind now. This all assuming, though, that those drivers that stayed out longer, they don't have, good pit stops and kind of move up through the field. Remember, Jerry Chen and Jude Martinelli are still out there on the racetrack. They started poorly here today. They're trying to move their way up through the field with a different strategy by staying out longer than anyone and maybe just catching those tires in the right time frame and maybe pitting right here with 6 laps to go.
Joe, they cut off my mic.
I heard some technical difficulties there, and
they cut off my mic.
I'm glad to have you back here.
I'm so disappointed. I don't know why. I need to go talk to the tech guys. Hey, look, pit stops.
Yeah, here we go. The final 2 are in Jerry Chen, Jude Martinelli. But whatever that issue was with your mic, I'm glad they got it fixed because it was getting a little lonely here. But here we go. Jerry Chen and Jude Martinelli. They're basically neighbors on pit road right here. So the problem with them is staying out. I don't think they're going to get to lead a lap because here comes Jordan Stout. They haven't passed the start-finish line. The 6 does. So that strategy of staying out longer maybe could have gotten them some bonus points if they were a little bit further up pit road. But see, Jordan Stout, with his little bit warmer tires on that out lap, he's gained, right? The 8 and the 3 were pretty close to him off pit road, but now that the 6 had temp in his tires, he's been able to pull away. Eli Bright, Justin Atkins, they probably lost about a second on this out lap because they had a little bit colder tires.
Yeah, so the question will be, will they be able to gain it up throughout, this last run here and come into the checkered flag? Is the tire difference going to be that big of a difference, or is the 6 the one with the right call here? So that'll be the big question.
Well, that was just a pass for 10th place right there. Mitchell Collins by Colin Teague, who is having a superb run. This 49 team, they don't have runs like this often. Colin Teague's only made, I think, 2 races so far this season. This was his 3rd one here today, and in the 16th race of the season. And Here he is in this number 49 car. He was up inside the top 10 with a great pit strategy call. He's now 11th, but if it stands, he probably has a top 15, top 20 day easily. So Colin Teague racing well in this number 49 car and was pretty fast in this race last season and pretty fast here today, just outside the top 10. It could get a top 10 if some things happen in front. You have Bridge there just outside of the top 10. Baby Ruiz has kind of dropped with his pit strategy. Hunter Reed's gained. He's now up inside the top 15. Evan Hunter's now going to be 15th because Jerry Chen has been cycled back a little bit further. But once again, Trey, the big loser on pit road, Chris Jericho in this number 18, and he actually lost a spot again. So Jericho's pit woes the last few races, they continue. Remember Lowe's, bad pit stop. Nazareth, bad pit stop. Here at Road America, bad pit stop. He entered pit road about 17th, 18th. He's now going to be 25th, about 24th when it all cycles through.
Yeah, definitely not what they wanted, especially with the way this race is playing out. It's not going to be good for them. We'll have to see if he can gain a couple more spots. If not, he might continue to fall down the order there. But only time's going to tell. As you can see, looking at Tim Gary, and he's looking at a absolute gaggle of cars in front of him.
Caution.
Oh, caution.
Caution is out. We have a few on pit road. The 09 is one of them with damage, but I was going to bring up Eli Bright had lost spots in that lap. He had lost 2 spots to Atkins and Burnett. Jordan Stout still leads, and Tyler Belladonna, who won just a few races ago and did not have a good qualifying spot here, he's all torn up. See Luke Rennie there in the 88. He doesn't have any damage. Oh my goodness. Martinelli and Skylar Taylor.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
They are destroyed, Joe.
And with how bad that damage is and where the 17's coming from, I assume that could be carousel or the kink, right? That's portions of the racetrack where you're going to be going pretty fast and it's kind of technical, and if you make contact, it could end up with something like that. And that's 3 cars that have a lot of damage.
Yeah, that is something big happened on this track, and it was somewhere in the back, but wow.
Yeah, that is massive. Remember, Martinelli's on the stay out strategy a little bit longer, but yeah, on that lap where the caution came out, Eli Bright lost 2 spots. He's back to 4th now, right where he started. Atkins up to 2nd, Burnett up to 3rd, and Nathan Stapleton dropped outside the top 10. Remember, he had been battling with drivers like the 43, the 9. He's now down to 11th as Riley Spurleytube has gotten up to the top 10 with Mitchell Collins, and the whole field now has been caught up, and we're going to do a few pace laps, but we'll get back to the green flag for sure, and it's just going to be a few lap shootout with the 6 on a little bit worse tires and the 3 right behind him on a little bit better tires. We'll have to see what happened. Caution flag out for the first time today at Road America. A heavy crash, Tyler Belladonna and Skylar Taylor and Jude Martinelli. Hard impact here at Road America. Jerry Chen, Jude Martinelli leaving pit road on their overcut strategy, and Matt Tuck kind of misjudges right here, gets into Jerry Chen, into turn number 1, 24 and the 23 go wide. This kicks the 23 off into the grass and the gravel trade. There's dirt debris kind of going everywhere at this point. There's a lot of dust you can't really see. Jude Martinelli and Skylar Taylor are side by side. I just don't think Martinelli knows. He's probably too worried about the dust and not. He doesn't know that Taylor's up there.
Yeah, and then they're going to turn head on into the wall. You can't see it, but you can see the debris absolutely flying in the air, and then eventually the dust is going to settle, and that's the remains. I mean, Joe, those cars are destroyed.
Yes, they are. And I mean, that was luckily a tire barrier and not just a concrete wall or something like that, but still a heavy, heavy impact. And, what we were seeing with that, that dust, same thing Belladonna was seeing in the car. He couldn't see, and he was just unfortunately the guy right behind the crash where they kind of came out back towards the racing surface. 17 had nowhere to go because he just didn't see because of the dust.
Yeah, he ended up clipping, I believe it was the 77. I mean, it was the only one that makes sense, and you see right there, left front damage, and the engine is cooked. So, just bad timing.
Yep, and let's go take a look at full speed of everything that occurred there in turn 1. Here's another view we found a little bit better than the first one, and you'll probably get to see the impact here with Skylar Taylor and Jude Martinelli. Oh. Wow.
The noise.
Wow.
I don't know if those tires did too much, Joe. I mean, it looks like they destroyed them. That was horrendous.
I think what it did is I think that was going to be a harder impact if those tires were not there. And, I mean, it could have shot those cars back into traffic if it was just a normal concrete wall. So we're at least glad that there was some sort of cushioning there for those drivers. But this man, Jordan Stout, he's led all but one lap when that number 8 stayed out. Now Jordan Stout is going to have to deal with the restart, and Justin Atkins, who's been one of the fastest here today, will be right on his bumper for it's going to be one final restart here in the Pepsi 500K. Late race drama here at Road America. Will take the green flag with 3 laps to go. That means if a caution flag comes out, this race will be over. They'll have no chance to clean the wreck up in time to go back green for maybe a 1-lap dash. So this will be the final restart, whether it be all 3 laps under green or whether it gets a little bit chaotic further back in the field and we get some cautions and accidents. We'll have to see. Jordan Stout, he's led all but 2 laps in this race, trying to hold on and win. Justin Atkins in the number 3 has come from the back of the top 10, now to second with a shot to win it. Matthew Burnett on the same strategy as Stout with the undercut is in 3rd. Then you have Eli Bright right where he started in 4th, and Mathis Wells just trying to hang on for a top 5 and a good points day. 6th place is Idell Crown Jr. 7th. Miller is 8th. 9th is Collins. 10th is Riley Spurgeon. Then you have Nathan Stipton 11th. Colin Teague 12th. BB Rose 13th. Hunter Reed up to 14th. 15th for Evan Hunter. Tim Gary could be the points leader here today. He's in 16th, Webb 17th, Rando 18th, Oskin 19th, and Sarah Kirchner completes the top 20. For Luke Rennie, he's been on and off pit road on the 88 car. He's now back on the same strategy. He's now caught up to the field. He has a chance to maybe gain some spots from the back of the field. Those 3 cars involved in the crash all done. Belladonna Martinelli and Skylar Taylor. But here we go. Atkins, who's been driving his way through the field, has 1 car between he and victory, but Jordan Stout, who's looking for another road course win in his career, trying to keep him from that as they climb the hill to see the green flag for one final time here at Road America. Stout will be the first to step on the gas. Can Atkins stay with them? Green flag back in the air. Good jump for Atkins. He stays close enough to Stout to have a shot maybe into turn 1 or even turn 3. Here he goes to the inside turn 1.
Have to see if he can send it here, if he can make it stick. We know that outside's the better lane right now, but Joey made it stick.
He did well, but he got a little bit loose off corner exit. Jordan Stout, I think, might have just enough, and he does stay in front of the 3 car. Atkins trying to keep 2nd. He goes a little bit wide. Eli Bright trying to get 3rd back for Matthew Burnett. As they race off turn number 3, Burnett gets a great drive off the top. He stays side by side with the 8, the 3 trying to stay in front of those 2 to have a shot at the number 6 in the final few laps. Up this straightaway they race down into turn 4. Burnett keeps 3rd. Bright's going to keep 4th. Zaydell up to 5th. He gets by Mathis Wells on the restart. So Zaydell back inside the top 5. Atkins hands full with Burnett further back in the field, 2 and 3 wide racing as everyone's trying to get every spot they can. They know this is the best time to do it and the last chance they have to do it. Here's a great battle. 9th place. Collins and Spurley side by side. Close quarters racing. Collins goes wide. Spurgeon's by for 9th. Collins down to 10th. Colin Teague up to 11th by Nathan Stapleton. Evan Hunter's gained spots in this run.
Oh.
Hunter already up inside the top 13, and there's more spots up for grabs in front of him, like Stapleton, like Colin Teague, as they're struggling in front of that number 36 car. Back up to the front, closing in. Atkins is gaining. Crown Jr. trying to get by. Mathis Wells for 6th place, has to stay behind him for the kink, and then maybe have a shot at Canada Corner. But Atkins Trey closing in on Jordan Stout. He's closed in. He's near him. He has a shot in the final few laps coming to Canada Corner, and 2 to go at the line.
We'll have to see what this 3 can do. We know he has the pace for it. It's just a question of, can he get past this 6? I don't think anyone's passed the 6 on track yet this race, and at the moment it looks like this 3 is definitely trying to set him up. It's just a question of where.
He went wide, turn 14, but Burnett also went wide, so the 6 gets to pull away. And the 3 doesn't have a battle behind him because everyone kind of went wide behind him. So it's Stout climbing the hill to see 2 laps to go. He's still out in front, as you mentioned, hasn't been passed on track here today. But Atkins can regroup now. No battle with him. The only battle is for 3rd. Eli Bright trying to get back by Matthew Burnett, but the 25 again. Great horsepower with that Hendrick engine under the hood. He keeps 3rd spot just barely over Eli Bright himself for 4th. Zaydell is now 5th. Wells 6th, Crown Jr. 7th. They're all kind of stacking up here as Eli goes a little bit wide, but the 2 can't get close enough. The front 7 have gotten away. Then you have Miller 8th, Spurley 9th, Collins 10th, and Evan Hunter up to 12th place, still gaining spots. He's got by Nathan Stipton even further back. They're still battling hard. Here's Kirchner. Hunter Reed's dropping on this restart. Kukulon and Ahmed Wallet are gaining. This is around 20th place trade. They're still battling so aggressively. They know these are the last few laps to get these spots as we're coming to the white flag next time by.
Yeah, everyone, it's no more give, it's all take now, and if you have a chance to pass someone, you're going to absolutely send it into a corner and hope it sticks to do such a thing. You see Tim Gary do it right there. He's going to run around the outside 7 there, maybe touch a little bit of gravel.
And Atkins right on the number 6 of Jordan Stout. He's right there. He's closed in through the carousel. He's close enough that if Stout makes a mistake, the 3 will pounce and be there. Matthew Burnett, Eli Bright are waiting in the wings in case these two maybe have an altercation or some contact. They can try and close in and take advantage, pick up the scraps. Stout nicely through the kink, but Atkins stays with them, getting some draft up the straightaway to Canada Corner. Stout hasn't been all that great at Canada Corner here today. Can he be good enough to keep the lead here? He goes a little bit wider than the number 3. Atkins has a run. He gets to the bumper again. Burnett's there. Bright is there. So is Wells. So is Zidell. So is Crown Jr. They're all on top of each other. White flag this time by it. Road America. Atkins is there. He goes a little bit wide, but he stays close to Stout. Close enough that he's going to have a shot on this last lap. Stout still in the lead. They climb the hill. White flag in the air. One more time around Road America, but Trey, it's a 4-mile lap. They have a long way to go to get back to the checkered flag.
Real quick, who's going to be the one to make the move? I think we're 3 wide in the back there for, I don't even know what position that is for.
That's 8th, 9th, 10th. Miller has 8th.
They got to be careful here.
Collins in 10th. It's a tight turn 1. They're all forcing each other wide. And Mitchell Collins will get a 2-for-1 deal up in front. Eli Bright goes wide. He loses 4th to Zidell. The number 2 gets by. Crown Jr. is by Wells. He might get by Bright as well. So Collins up by both those guys. The battle for, I think this is going to be 6th or 5th. This is 5th place is on. Crown Jr. trying to get by Eli Bright. Further back there, Evan Hunter is trying to break inside the top 10. Getting by Jacob Miller. These two race aggressively for 5th. Up the road, Atkins still close enough to Stout to make a move if the 6 makes a mistake. Crown Jr.'s by Eli Bright. He's got by Wells and Bright in this lap. There's Evan Hunter up to the top 10. Getting by Jacob Miller is down to 11th now. Sprinter trying to get back by Mitchell Collins. That'd be for 8th place. A few cars go off the road. It was Justin Zidell who went a little bit wide. Stout still leads as they enter into the carousel for the final time. But Trey, Justin Atkins is keeping him humble.
Yeah, cannot have any mistakes out of this 6 because if that is the case, the 3 is definitely going to pass him right here. This 3 just looked to be a little bit more stable right now, and it could be that pitting situation where the 6 pitted 1 lap before.
Well, here we go. Kink, and now the 3 has every shot to make a move, whether it be into Canada Corner. Here he goes. He's looking to the inside to Canada Corner. Could we see a last lap pass for the win at Road America? Atkins has the position down to the inside. Stout, who's dominated this race, trying to get it on the outside. They race
side by side.
Side by side. Atkins is by into turn number 13, but now can he make turn 14? He's messed up the last few laps. Can he get it this lap? He's now into the race lead. He gets it down to the bottom. He waited right to the last lap, the last few corners. But Justin Atkins up the hill with the last lap pass. He started 10th place today. He's passed 9 cars, and he wins over Jordan Stout here at Road America.
What? Absolute heartbreak.
Talk about like waiting to the last minute to do something. Justin Atkins couldn't have waited much longer to do that.
That was incredible. I think, if anything, he's definitely passing those cars of the day, and to do it for the win too. I mean, what else could you ask for?
Yeah, that was superb. Justin Atkins, he breaks RCR's winless drought. And oh, by the way, he was the last driver to win for RCR as well last season at Chicagoland. So Justin Atkins, once again, back to the victory lane for Richard Childress Racing, his first win of 2004. But Trey, you mentioned the heartbreak for Jordan Stout, who led basically every single lap of this race. The only ones he didn't lead, the 2 under pit cycles where Eli Bright led them both, and then the last lap.
Oh my goodness, that's just heartbreaking right there. But what an absolute, I mean, Joe, we saw the 3 do it. He's been setting him up for laps ever since the restart, just trying to set him up, trying to figure out where he wants to do it, and I don't think he could have picked a better place.
Now, Trey, I know you've never raced here, right? So you don't know what this is like, but what do you think it is for Justin Atkins to be, he's won the race on a last lap pass of all things, right? A great battle with Stout right down to the checkered flag, and all that, adrenaline is pumping, and now you're going through a 4-mile pace lap where it's going to take you, over 2 minutes to get around. What do you think that's like in the car for Atkins, just, so excited and they're going through this pace, or this cool down lap, being like, man, I won this race in such cool fashion, but I have to wait all this time to get out and celebrate with my crew and everyone else.
I mean, his spotter, his crew chief is telling him, "Hey, don't wreck the car. We know you're excited and all this, but please make sure you keep it on the track still. We just got to get back to pit road." But I mean, he's so many emotions are going through his head right now, and right now he's going through the corner that won him the race, and I mean, it's just I don't know what he's feeling because it's different for everyone, but that he is probably the happiest man right now.
And how about this trade? The 3 is back in victory lane, right? Hasn't won since you did it at North Wilkesboro in one of your final races. And now here, Justin Atkins gets number 3 back to victory lane for the first time since 2000. And now the number 3 car is 1 for 1 here at Road America.
Well, there it is. I mean, I had a feeling whenever I was asked about bringing the 3 back, I said, I'm all right with it as long as you put one guy in it. And it was this man right here. And I had a feeling, and it just seems like he is he's proven the point to why he should be in it.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible from Justin Atkins here today. I mean, not only that last lap pass, but just the fact he had to pass all those cars up inside the top 10 because he had to come from the back of the top 10. That was just absolutely superb out of Justin Atkins. Definitely the best race car here today, and he made it work right down at the checker flag as the field is coming into their pit stalls and cooling down after a very hot, chaotic race here at Road America. It wasn't hot temperature-wise. It was just there's just so much action out there on the racetrack, and we saw so much chaos, and that caution flag coming out really spiced the race up and really brought it to new life, where we saw all that crazy stuff going on. And I mean, kind of shuffled the field up a little bit. Some guys who played some strategy maybe fell back because they had worse tires. Some guys were able to move up because of that caution flag. See, I think Luke Rennie gained some spots that he needed, even though it's probably not going to be enough to keep the points lead. He still gained some spots there as the last few are coming into pit road, as we'll now go down and get a look at the finishing results from today's race at Road America. The winner here today, Justin Atkins, on a last lap pass of Jordan Stout. So the 3 wins. Stout ends up in second here today, leading the most laps from pole position, but was just a few turns short of race victory. Matthew Burnett, third place result, and really Hendrick's only shot here today at a track where they've been very, very dominant in the past. But Burnett played the strategy right, got some spots, and from 7th to 3rd, he'll definitely take that. Justin Zeidel, right about where he started in 3rd place. He ends up in 4th, and Eli Brout, the top 5 here today. Roberto Crown Jr., 2 for 2 on top 10s at road courses this season. A really good run at Montreal, and a top 10 run here today. Mathis Wells kind of struggled there late. He ends up in 7th, but still a pretty decent points day for the guy who entered 9th in the point standings. Mitchell Collins ends up in 8th here today. 9th to Riley Sprague, 10th to Evan Hunter. The 28 to 36 had to do pretty well to move through the field. Colin Teague, one of the more impressive drives here today, ends up in 11th, definitely his best result in a while in the Nextel Cup Series. Jacob Miller dropped there towards the end. He ends up in 12th with Nathan Stapleton, Baby Rose, and Tim Gary leaving with a top 15. I think that's going to be just enough for Tim Gary to take over the points lead after today's race. Jay Brando entered 5th in the points. This will gain him some good spots in 16th. Then you have Drew Webb, Ahmed Walid, Sarah Kirchner. How about Laura Chung out of nowhere to get a top 20 result in that number 19 here today? We look down, Keyshawn Richardson won the last race out, 22nd here today. Chris Jericho, pit woes once again, dropped him some spots. He was running top 20 for most of the race. He ends up, though, finishing 24th, but still does gain points on Luke Rennie because the 88 had a really, really bad day. See, Jerry Chen's undercut maybe worked out for him. Jerry Chen did the overcut. The undercut for Hunter Reed did work, but then that caution came out. He lost a lot of ground on the racetrack. He ends up 26th. Lathan Strickland never had the car today. He's been good here in the past. Conrad Evans not all that great. Keegan Thompson, winner last season, gets 33rd this season. Luke Rennie, he was on par to finish about 42nd here today. Then that caution came out. He was then going to finish 39th, but then gained some spots. The 88 ends up 35th. Hernandez, failed inspection, never had the car here today. DeLello, last car running, 39th. He may have gone wide, went off. Something in that number 16 was off there in that last run. And then obviously the 3 cars out, Skylar Taylor, Jude Martinelli, Tyler Belladonna, all from that gruesome crash that we saw in turn 1 at just about the midway point of the Pepsi 500K. As now we go take a look at the points, and now Trey, 16 races down, 16 races to go, halfway through, and the points have tightened back up. Everyone up there in points. Luke Rennie, very bad day. Tim Gary, solid day. Keegan Thompson, very bad day. Jericho, mediocre day. Jay Brando, solid day. Evan Hunter, top 10. Sarah Kirchner, solid. Lathan Strickland, all of that great. Mathis Wells, pretty solid. Zachary DeLello, not all of that great. That's the top 10 Trey entering. None of them had good days. So this really helped drivers like Atkins, Eli Bright, Justin Zeidel close in, and it really just, the whole field's coming back together now after Road America.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's been trending that way the last couple of races where the points are, everyone is just kind of closing back in each other, and it's going to be an all-out brawl yet again. And again, this is a race where that followed the same exact story. So it's gonna be fun to watch here in the next couple of races to see how stuff tends to settle out, if it ever does settle out.
Yeah, the second half of the season is going to be the search of someone who can have a consistent stretch of races. So far, it looked like Luke Rennie was on that, but here today, faltered with a bad qualifying result, a bad race result, and we'll have to see how it all plays out over the next few races on JRTV. The summer stretch is alive and well, and there's some big points shakeup going into the summer months. As next time out on JRTV, we're going racing at the very bad fast Michigan International Speedway for the GFS Marketplace 400. That's a fan favorite and a driver favorite racetrack. Very skilled racetrack to get around, very fast racetrack. The drivers enjoy it, the fans enjoy it, and we're going to enjoy it next week on JRTV. Tune in next Sunday for that race from Michigan. But today, Justin Atkins gets RCR back to victory lane. His first win of 2004, RCR's first win of 2004 with a last lap pass here at Road America. Congratulations to he and the 3 team on the race victory. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long from Road America.